This is Visitor's Book, and I'm Maija, your host. In this program, we're going to be meeting with diplomats and foreigners who live here in Pakistan, and we're going to find out what they really think about the country. So let's go. Our guests today are Michael and Elizabeth Kanaan, who are restaurant and salon owners here in Islamabad. So let's go find them. Hi.
Hi.
So nice to meet you. And thank you for having me. You have such a lovely house with a beautiful garden.
Thank you. Welcome to our home.
Thank you. So how long have you been living in Pakistan, both of you? For you, it's been 15 years,
I've been here
right?
15 plus, yes, almost.
Yeah. And what about you?
For me, it'll be actually 20-year anniversary on June 9th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a really long time. Yeah. And Michael, you're originally from Lebanon.
Yes, I was born in Lebanon just before the Civil War, grew up there, and then, I left around 2000. I left Lebanon and never went back.
Wow. And how did you guys meet? I mean, you're part Pakistani, but you grew up in the US, right?
My mother's Scottish-French. Okay. My father was Pakistani. Mm-hmm. First generation Americans. Mm-hmm. And we met at the Salon, actually. I came for a blow dry.
Here in Islamabad. Yeah. Okay.
She took an appointment, walked in for a blow dry, and...
Yeah,
that's
the rest is history.
Yeah. A lot of blow dries later.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a nice story. And were you when you first came here, was the idea to stay here for 20 years, or you just kind of...
Actually, I came over for 18 months. Okay. And I came with my now ex-husband, Australian. He's gone back to Australia, remarried.
Yeah.
And we came here for an 18-month assignment with a multinational oil and gas company.
Okay.
And then 20 years later,
still here.
We're in a whole different story and lots of new chapters.
Exactly. Yeah. So Michael, how did you end up in Pakistan from Lebanon? What were you doing back in your home country? How did you get in this whole industry?
Yeah, I've always been a hairstylist since the first job I got was in a salon in Lebanon.
Really?
I was working as a cleaner and a coffee boy, and I just loved the whole experience and the ambiance and all that. So that's when I knew I want to be a hairstylist.
Really?
So I learned it in Lebanon. Then I started traveling in '96 was my first trip abroad to work abroad. It was to the Emirates, Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
And then I moved to Dubai. Then I worked in Egypt a little bit, Cyprus a little bit. When I came back to Dubai, I met some Pakistanis, and they offered me a good business opportunity. So I came and I started my first salon in Lahore.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was at PC Lahore, and I was planning to stay here for 3 years. And here we are 15 years later because of this lady.
Yeah.
When we met, the whole thing changed, and we decided to stick around and start a business together.
Wow.
And, yeah.
That's amazing. So where exactly in Lebanon are you from? Which city or town?
I'm from, it's not a city, it's a bigger town, you can call it. It's up in the mountains, something like Murray.
Okay.
Lots of pine trees. I grew up with pine trees and lots of mountains, and it's called Mount Lebanon actually.
All right.
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned that the situation was pretty difficult at the time.
Yeah, when I was 4 years old, the Civil War started, and it went on for 15 years on and off. So we had very dire situation to go through.
Yeah. And was that something that prompted you to leave the country then, the situation?
That's one of the reasons. Plus, the economic situation, the corruption in Lebanon is insane. Bureaucracy, all that. So
yeah, of course.
And I came to Pakistan.
Yeah. So, and your family stayed behind in Lebanon. They're still there.
All my family is there. My 2 kids are there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go back frequently to visit them.
Okay, that's nice. But what impressed you so much about Pakistan, and when you said it was not what you expected? What was it?
I was expecting more a conservative society, and what I've seen, I was pleasantly surprised. The fashion was good. The nature is beautiful. The people are nice. So I took a decision back then to go for it and start the business here.
Yeah. So it wasn't like you see only one side in the media about Pakistan, and then here you see everything, and you
That
realize.
is what happens with all the foreigners coming here. They have this bad idea because of the bad media as well. This is nothing comparing to what we
Exactly.
endured.
Yeah.
So this is a picnic. That's what I call it.
So going back to your work, you've just opened a new salon here in Islamabad. What do you think has made your salon so successful here?
I think the personalized service that we give, and of course being a foreigner, that gives me an edge a little bit as well, because here they like everything foreign.
Yeah.
They like the foreign brands, they like all that.
There's a trust element.
Yeah, I think they trust the foreign element more. Bring any brand from abroad, they think it's great.
Yeah, that the
so
quality.
that is what gave me the kickstart. But then if you're not good at what you're doing, you wouldn't survive for 15 years in this industry in Pakistan, right? Plus, my techniques and my ability, of course, I keep up to date, do training whenever I'm abroad. I'll do a course in coloring or cutting, so we're always up to date.
Yeah.
So we gained this trust with the Pakistanis and the foreign community as well.
I mean, a lot of your customers, they're foreigners, actually, Westerners.
I think around 40% of our clientele are foreigners. And I personally don't call them customers or clients, I call them guests.
Yeah.
And this is how they're treated when they come into the salon, that they're our guests. So maybe that's
nice.
what set us apart from the rest.
Yeah. And so what kind of services do you provide, like aside from like the regular, haircuts and blow dries?
So at our new salon, we do all the services, hair, nails, skin, and we have a separate section for gents as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so almost everything. We do massages as well, so all
For
kind of
women
cares
only.
for women.
So it's like a
yeah.
spa kind of a
Yes.
experience that you can have there. That's nice. Do you get a lot of like bridal stuff that you do? Like people come to your salon for bridal?
We never tapped into the bridal market,
Okay.
even though it's a big market.
Yeah.
But we never tapped into that. I believe in having one field and excel in it. And I'm a hairstylist. I excel in hair. So I didn't go into it actually.
And what about your staff? Are they mostly Pakistani or from somewhere else?
Yeah, majority is Pakistani, and last year another brilliant Lebanese hairstylist joined us as well, and he's gonna carry the torch when we hopefully make our exit.
Yeah.
The rest are Pakistanis trained by me,
Okay.
and they've been with me for years now. Yeah.
Awesome. And how did you end up moving to Islamabad from Lahore? Like, I mean, Lahore is a bigger city, and you'd think like you have a bigger market there, maybe?
Yeah, Lahore is definitely a bigger market and better in business sense, but as a lifestyle, Lahore is nothing comparing to Islamabad. And I was looking for some,
We're very outdoors people.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
we're
makes
looking
sense.
for a better scenery, cleaner place to live.
Mountain.
And Islamabad.
Yeah, there's a lot of pollution.
Yeah, Lahore is crazy. Traffic is insane.
Yeah.
So that's and Elizabeth was living here at the time, so
Okay.
it was a no-brainer. I had to move here.
I used to drive 4 hours every weekend to see him,
Oh,
so I think
really?
it was a good kind of payoff.
Yeah, it's better.
So you've obviously lived in so many countries in the region. What do you think are the biggest differences between, like, let's say Dubai or Egypt and the industry in Pakistan then?
I think Pakistani market is still a little bit reserved. They're not very. I mean, there is reservation with the colors and cuts. You don't see these funky cuts that we do on all the colors. It's coming up now, but there's lots of reservation. I mean,
It's a bit more conservative.
It's very conservative. Whether if you work in Lebanon or in Dubai or in the States, you have more margin to work with. That is one of the challenges.
Yeah.
And people here they come in and they almost 90% of them, they know what they want.
Right.
You know? It's not like they're open to suggestions or, you know, abroad, a guest walks in and she'll give you, you know, free hand to do what you want. Just change my look, change my look. You know, you do what you want, change it. Here, people, I mean, they walk in and they say, you know, I want to cut like half an inch of my hair, but please change my look.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
like, how can I do it? I call the guys, I'm like, get me the magic stick so I can do it. So, you know, that is one of the challenges. But people here are lovely, they're, you know, yeah, I like it here. It's, and one of the reasons that I moved to Islamabad is to have the foreign element as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have best of both worlds. Lahore, the diversity was very important for me. That's why I moved to Islamabad as well. But on the plus side, this country have the most amazing places, and the scenery is unbelievable here. Elizabeth is going to talk about the north now. Visits we did,
yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
It's amazing. I mean, we've seen many, many countries, and this is one of the top.
Very beautiful. And I mean, you have this amazing view of the Margalas here as well. It's very nice.
We like the peace and quiet, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Escape.
All right, time to take a short break. I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. I'm here with Michael and Elizabeth, and we're about to have some tea. Yeah.
Can I pour some tea?
Yeah, sure. Let me just have some sanitizer first.
Balasit.
Okay, thank you. Oh, these are lovely cups.
Yes, please, thank you.
So, like you mentioned, you were born in San Francisco, right?
No, I was born in Karachi.
You were born in Karachi. Yes. I thought you were born in the U.S.
No, naturalized at birth. So first generation American citizens.
Okay. But then, how old were you when you moved to the States?
4 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the story of your father and your mom? How did they meet?
My parents met in the States, in New York. My father had his first job after graduation. He was in advertising. He was an advertising executive.
Okay.
And he and my mother used to be with Ford Modeling Agency. It's an old well-known modeling agency.
Yeah.
And they met on an elevator.
Oh, really?
The agency and my father's advertising company were in the same building. So apparently it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
And they got married within 6 months. And then he got a job with British American Tobacco at the time, and then brought her, and they moved to Karachi.
Oh, wow.
And there are 6 of us, so my parents adopted 2 girls from the Holy Family Hospital, I think that's what it's called.
Oh, really?
And then had 4. I have 3 brothers and myself.
Oh, wow. So growing up, like after you moved to the States, how many times did you come back to Pakistan?
I came back for the first time in 1979, 1980. Okay. Because at the time my parents were going through a divorce, and my father sent us here to be with his family. We'd never had gotten to know them or had time with them. So he sent my brother Christopher and I here. And we went to, at the time it was called the Islamabad, International School of Islamabad. Okay. ISOI at the time. And then we were here about a year and went back home. And then I came in 2000.
Okay.
Just before 9/11.
So just once you came. What kind of memories do you have of the country from back then?
I don't know if a lot of the memories are from stories people have told me.
Okay.
You know, the earlier ones. And what my first memories are. I mean, my brothers and sisters and I, you know, we talk fondly of it, and were good memories listening to them also speak. Where I'm the youngest girl and I have a younger brother. So the elders used to tell stories, and my parents, of course. So yeah, I mean, it was pleasant. When my brother Chris and I came in 79, 80, it's when the Afghan War, started, was happening. My father was a diplomat brat, as they say. My grandfather was a general counsel after partition, so he went and opened the embassies and the consulates around the world.
Oh, wow.
So he traveled with them, and so yeah, it's interesting. So he didn't really identify very much with Pakistan. He, I think, really loved his life, and he lived life to the fullest. So yeah. So
do you speak Urdu?
I speak Urdu fluently.
Oh, that's good.
I can't read and write it. I regret when I had the opportunity to learn. I had a tutor that came every day.
Yeah.
The first year I lived here in 2000, and I don't know why I learned conversational. I did not learn the script and how to write, and I really wish I did. It's really hard it's hard enough challenging being a woman here, and in this more male-dominated society, and when you do, like my father being from Pakistan, and when he passed away, the inheritance and all that, and reading legal documents, and it is very difficult. You have to trust people. And
exactly.
Just never know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah. So then what prompted you to actually move here from the States?
Well, I came with my now ex-husband, Australian.
Exactly.
We were transferred here in 2000 with a multinational oil and gas company.
It was kind of a coincidence then for you.
Well, we were in Australia at the time, and my father became very ill. He had been ill for a while, and it gave us an opportunity for him to live with us.
Okay.
And so my father and I were very close.
Yeah.
So I was very blessed and fortunate to have him for the last 18 months of his life.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense at the time to be in a place where it's affordable. Even today, healthcare is so much more affordable. In the States, it's a disaster, and it can destroy your life. And not everyone can afford it, unfortunately, even though I think it's a human right. And so it just made sense at the time.
Yeah. And that was right after 9/11, you said?
That was before 9/11. We came in 2000, and while away on a holiday, 9/11 happened, and we weren't allowed to return to Pakistan till that December.
Yeah.
And in between, my father had passed away, so it was really hard. I wasn't able to bury him or, have that closure. Yeah. But I feel very fortunate. I try to look at things on the positive side, that it's nice because I only have memories of him alive. So I feel very fortunate that way. Yeah.
And then you started hiking up north.
I had major back surgery, and walking was my recovery. And I used to live in East 7. So walking around East 7, then I eventually started going on the Margala trails and then cycling up the Margalas. And there was a group of expats that were crazy into trekking and cycling. So we then did a cycling trip. One of the best things you can ever do in Pakistan is we cycled from Gilgit to the Kunjab Pass on the KKH.
Sounds
and
amazing.
It took us 8 days round trip, and it was probably one of the most incredible things I've done.
Yeah.
And it changed my life, completely changed my life. I got into rural development and volunteerism, working with very remote communities in Gilgit-Baltistan, which was at the time northern areas.
Yeah.
Doing water and sanitation, health education, mostly anything that really helped the women and the children.
How did that happen? Like, did you encounter some people and you were like, oh, I have to do something to help them, or
after cycling, I got into trekking. So I did the Baltoro and Hisbar Biafo, and my cook and guide at the time was from this very remote village called Shimshal.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It's so beautiful. And he said, Baji, he calls me sister, you have to come to my village. So I was thinking I wanted to bring a gift to the community, and I thought the best thing is to bring something for the children. And you know, we take art as it's something we take for granted, coloring and expressing ourselves that way. And when in poverty, it's not a luxury, it's a luxury. It's a luxury. So I thought creativity, coloring, whatever, I'll bring coloring books, pens, paper. So I did that. And we went to climb Mingley Sar, which was one of my first mountains I climbed.
Okay.
And we had to go through his village. We distributed the coloring books to the Diamond Jubilee Middle School. It's an Aga Khan funded school. Mm-hmm. And on the way back from climbing Mingley, it took us 10 days. When I came back, they had held a drawing competition while I was climbing, and they gifted the drawing books back to me filled with drawings.
Oh wow.
It was
That's
the
so
most
sweet.
beautiful gift I've ever received in my life, and that was what was the turning point. And I never went back. My life was just completely upside down by then, in a good way.
Yeah.
And I got into rural development. Met with the community, asked them what they needed. We built a resource center, did re-engineered stoves for the shepherd huts. They had TB, eye infections, respiratory infections. So projects for that. Did a water and sanitation project with WASIP, the Water and Sanitation Extension Program for the Aga Khan Foundation. And and Gilgit in Karganala. I was fortunate enough to procure and deliver supplies to build a bridge for a community so they could cross over instead of going all the way around this valley. In Fairy Meadows, we built my dream was to do a mountaineering school to bring mountaineers from all over the world and be able to, because the conditions in Fairy Meadows, have you been there?
I've never been.
You have to go.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's what I imagine heaven to be when I die.
It looks amazing in pictures.
It renders you
Paradise.
speechless.
Yeah.
It's awe-inspiring. It really is. And so we built a school there and a first aid post, a clinic for the locals up there. And it just kind of snowballed. And it was the most rewarding time in my life. And then I came back down to earth, I guess, is one way to put it. And got into consultancies, first with the Asia Foundation and the election monitoring in 2008.
Yeah.
And then the TB Dots program. And then worked with USAID on reviving tourism in Swat after the insurgency and the floods.
That's fascinating.
And having never been to Swat, I had to develop this strategy. And then, with UNICEF, working for a few years with UNICEF and their different departments and programs.
Yeah.
So, and then I couldn't get a job for a couple of years. For about 3 years, it was hard for an international consultant to get any, even short-term consultancies. And then I took a friend up to Hunza for the first time to create another project to preserve the cross-stitch, which is so much part of the fabric, literally, of the people from Hunza, the colorful hats you see. To preserve that, because with this influx of tourism in the last 3 years in Hunza, the domestic tourism especially, it has really, I have to say, not had a positive impact on the area because it's affected the environment, the pollution, the quality of life there as well, because it's affected the people and their culture, you know, and the diet. The diet is so critical. The Hunza Kuts used to be one of the longest living people on this planet.
Is it?
It was one of the 5 hotspots for longevity.
Oh, wow.
And they no longer have that status because of this access. The white flour, the white sugar.
So that all came with the tourists from here.
Well, it came before, once the KKH was built, and it was easier to access. But in the last 3 years, the impact I've seen, and I go at least 3 times a year up there. I have to meet with my suppliers and I mean, I feel it's my home there, and I recharge my soul when I go to the mountains. The impact on the diet of the people, there's a pizza parlor there, there's Nahari Punjabi restaurants opening there, and I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's not so healthy.
Protect and preserve the diversity of this country is why I opened Wild Time, actually, is to showcase it.
Exactly.
And to represent it so people could have access who maybe wouldn't have a chance to go. We will lose it. And to promote responsible tourism, you have to protect your assets, and you have to value them.
That's
Otherwise,
very important.
There'll be nothing to go to. It'll end up like Murray or these overly developed without planning, and the garbage, and it would just ruin it. And I'm very concerned about it, actually.
So when did you open the restaurant here in Islamabad? How long has it been now?
It's been almost 3.5 years.
Okay. Wild Time is the name.
Wild Time. It's an herb. It's in Burshishki, which is the language of the Hunzakuts.
Okay.
It's tomorrow, and they drink it all day. It's great for altitude. It's great for your respiratory tract. It's great to have it all day. It's no caffeine.
I think it might cure COVID as well, I heard.
That would be wonderful. You can get it at Wild Time. Anyway, so the food, what I love about Wild Time, and I'm really proud of, is that it is showing the diversity of Pakistan. And the food, I call it healthy Pakistani food. It's the fusion we do. It's the traditional Hunza dishes, but we've contemporized them a bit.
All right.
For example, hoy garma, which is the spinach, and in Hunza you'll get it with spinach and ripped chapati and potato.
Okay.
So here, to give it, we're in a city, to give it, for people to relate to it, we call it spinach ravioli.
Right.
Because instead of ripped chapati, we've turned the chapati into a ravioli.
Oh, I see.
And stuffed that with spinach.
Wow.
And then serve the same green herbs they put in it with the almonds, and it's very high nutrition, healthy Pakistani food.
And these are also from your restaurant, right?
Yeah, these are some of our products. We, I believe, are creating the first superfood bars of Pakistan. And I call them superfood bars because they're literally packed with all the superfoods: hemp seed, flax seed, sesame seed, the apricot, almonds, walnuts, dried cherries. Very high energy nutrition, no added sugar, no preservatives. And instead of kids going to school and having junk, and there's a lot of junk food being eaten in Pakistan, in a country with a lot of heart disease, we have to be very careful. And so this would be the perfect snack, or an executive at the office is feeling hungry but can't go out because he's in the middle of something, can grab a bar and eat it. And I wanted to get into vending machines, but there really that culture isn't really here. There's not a lot of access to vending machines. So we were about to launch it and get it out in more retail points, but because of this virus, COVID, a lot of things were kind of either stopped or put on hold for now until we.
But let's try some.
Sure, please.
So this is basically the same thing.
Yeah, that's the wrapping we have right now.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just packed. It's honey. There's honey in it.
Yeah.
A lot of crunch, great fiber. Excellent. Yeah.
It's delicious, actually.
Thank you. Yeah. We also have it in chocolate, so it's coated with cacao.
Oh, wow.
Or plain, and we also are trying to develop a savory one. So for people who don't like sweet things, I'm more of a savory palate. So something that we could put like maybe some sea salt or pink salt, and either thyme or rosemary or something, you know, just to give it a little more savory.
That's amazing. And I mean, I like it that, you know, this is all like all Pakistani ingredients and it's very healthy, and also your restaurant, like all of that is like traditional Pakistani food, and actually all this junk is actually Western influence, like all this bad stuff. So it's more like you're promoting like traditional Pakistani culture, right?
And it's all here.
Yeah. All the ingredients.
We don't use anything imported at Wild Time. We the only imported ingredient we use is the lint, which we use in our artisanal chocolates. So that's also something we do. It's one of our products. We make them at the restaurant. They're handmade. Yeah. It's just walnuts and caramelized honey and in lint chocolate. So
amazing.
It's very delicious. Can I open and?
Yeah, sure. Let's see.
So it's like we always try to tell people that it's a good alternative to the desi mithai if you want something different. And this is also desi, but it's in a different form.
A little bit different.
So like a gift.
Oh wow!
So these are
that's amazing.
Our walnut clusters. Yeah, they're just walnut honey. We have it in dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white, pink salt, and mint as well. So and we also have one called Sultan Cook, which is the sweet of the kings or the royals.
Oh yeah.
And it's mulberry and almonds crushed, also in a dark lint chocolate. So yeah.
We'll take a short break. I'll see you when we come back. Welcome back. I'm here with Michael and Elizabeth, and I think there's a storm coming, so let's wrap it up quickly. But yeah, this was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you mentioned there was an interesting story behind this as well.
Yeah, our Superfood Bars, we're honored. There was a Billy Beerling. She's a absolute crazy adrenaline junkie, climbing, trekking, running woman. She manages the database for all the mountaineers in Kathmandu.
Oh, wow.
So for Everest. And she came to climb Broad Peak last June with her expedition. And they came to climb Broad Peak, and she climbed it without oxygen for the first time. And they took our Superfood Bars as one of their nutritional kind of energy food bars as a supplement.
Yeah.
And our Superfood Bars made it to the summit of Broad Peak, so that was
amazing.
Very special for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there won't be a lot of tourists coming to Pakistan for a while now because of this coronavirus, but hopefully soon again.
Climbing and hiking and everything, being outdoors, I think is still very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, how has this affected your lives and your careers, this whole period of time?
Well, for me, as a salon industry, you know, we were like totally shut down for almost 8 weeks. And now things are, you know, it started to, you know, roll back again, but nothing like before.
Of course.
It's going to take a while to go back to normal.
Yeah.
I think people are not taking this very seriously. I mean, we see it in Islamabad. They're much better than the other rural areas. You know, we see people on the markets shaking hands and hugging, and so people take this more seriously. It's a very serious illness, and you know, little precaution can go a long way.
Exactly.
And before we start doing that precaution, we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, you're right. What kind of precautions are you taking at the salon now?
So mainly the first thing we do is we check every guest temperature. Our staff always wearing masks and gloves.
Yes,
we disinfect every area before and after the guests leave. We're using mostly disposable stuff like disposable towels, disposable aprons, so you know we don't have to use it after one guest. And I mean, we're doing our best. We're keeping our capacity to like 40% almost. So keeping safe distancing, at least 8 feet, even not 6 feet. We're keeping 8 feet away between the guests. We're taking very few appointments just to keep people, you know, comfortable and and keeping us safe as well.
Absolutely. So a lot of people now during the lockdown, like all over the world, have really been missing going to the salon and getting a haircut. Do you have any tips for people who are trying to like cut their hair themselves?
Well, we're gonna share some videos hopefully soon, but the first tip is don't cut your hair at home.
Okay.
We've seen many disasters.
Yeah.
That is the first tip. The salons are like we reopened, and hopefully everything is gonna go back to normal.
Yeah.
We pray for that.
Yeah. And what about your restaurant? I mean, have you been open for deliveries the whole time?
Yeah, we closed as well in mid-March, and we are rethinking and strategizing our business plan and our direction and focusing on takeaway and delivery.
Right.
Mostly delivery. Developing our own app as well, so you can order directly from us and we will deliver to you, which helps us also control the amount of people that have come into contact with the food.
That makes sense.
And just, as well, I bought a thermometer for each of our staff, and there's a log when they arrive during midway their shift and when they leave, just to keep track of how their temperatures go, just as an indicator. It's not
it's not foolproof,
but it is a good indicator. And gloves, masks, hairnets, of course, we always do that anyway. And no one is allowed to enter the building. We bring the food out to you. Anytime our staff handle cash, they know they have to go wash their hands and wash their hands as frequently as possible.
Yes.
We really need to all take care of each other and protect each other and wear masks. Absolutely, no question about it.
Yeah. Whenever people are in, like,
Public,
especially indoors, if there's a lot of people, I think it's very important to wear a mask.
Yeah. Or if you see a lot of people indoors, do not enter.
Exactly.
I think. Like at Kosar going shopping, they're done well with spacing people so that even when they let people in, I usually wait till there's maybe 2 customers in there.
That's a good tip also.
I want to protect my family and myself and our staff and our business. And
exactly.
If you don't have your health, you have nothing.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure we take care of each other. Yeah.
And I mean, this has been a very difficult time for business owners, especially, and of course, people in general, like poor people who can't go out and do any kind of work in this situation. How do you think it's possible to cope in a country like Pakistan?
So I personally feel it was challenging before COVID as well.
Okay.
So we were facing lots of challenges as like the small and medium enterprises.
Yeah.
We asked the government for more support. I don't think we're getting the support we get.
Did you at any point, like when all of this was starting in March, did you consider leaving Pakistan, or it was very clear for you that this is your home and you're going to stay here no matter what?
Even before that, we're considering, moving out, just keeping some roots here to keep coming back. But we wanted to move out. Now with the COVID thing, everything is on hold now till we see this is the new world. You don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe Pakistan is the best place for us.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Yeah. The US is definitely not the best place to be right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, until that leadership changes, I have no desire to be there.
Yeah.
We were actually, our plan this year was to kind of have the best of both worlds, is to keep our businesses and have our foot here, and then also finally kind of move on. And we were initially planning to bring Wild Time and open it somewhere and introduce it to the world.
Nice.
That was very much our plan, and so now it's just kind of re-strategizing as we are, and I think travel is going to change a lot. I don't think people are going to be flying around and exploring the world like we were.
Which is sad.
There's going to be a lot of people staying home and exploring their own countries, and it's the only globalization will be through technology and computers and phones, and so.
So actually, we're very lucky to be in Pakistan, where we have So many amazing places to explore if we're stuck here.
Well, we were looking for a new challenge, and out of nowhere, this COVID hit us, and that's a challenge for us, and we shall prevail.
We do always.
Inshallah. Okay, then it's time for our rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Shoot.
Shalwar kameez or Western clothes?
Western.
Okay. Lahore or Karachi?
Neither.
Islamabad.
Okay, all right.
Hunza.
Beirut or San Francisco?
San Francisco, no doubt.
All right. First thought that comes to your mind when I say Margalla Hills?
Beautiful.
Serene.
Yeah. Karimabad Bazaar in Hunza?
Heaven.
Yeah. Wow. Wagah border?
Never been.
Oh, loved it.
Yeah.
Beautiful ceremony.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
You've never been?
No.
You have to go experience it one day.
Absolutely.
Pasu cones.
Pasukones, oh my God, the cathedral peaks. It's magical. It's majestic.
I have to.
Incredible.
I've
You
yet to
cannot
see
copy
them.
me.
And a great place for wind energy.
Oh, really?
They should really think about it.
Interesting.
Green energy. Yeah.
Wow.
Very windy.
I think this is for you, Michael. Hamra Street or Anarkali Food Street in Lahore?
Hamra Street.
Shish Taouk or Sikh Kebab?
Oh, they're both good. Shish taouk.
All right. Baklava or Gajar ka halwa?
Baklava.
What about you?
I love them both.
Okay. They're quite different.
Yeah.
The best thing about Pakistan?
The beauty.
The scenery.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, now it's time for you to sign our visitors book. There we go.
Thank you.
Let's see what you wrote. Pakistan has it all. We must support Pakistan through these hard times. By Pakistani. Great. Thank you so much. I would shake your hands, but I'll leave it because of COVID.
Yes.
But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank
for
you.
coming to our home.
Yes.
That's it for today. Please join me again next time. And please stay safe, stay at home, and don't forget to follow us on our social media handles at indus.news. Goodbye.